Starting, and we are live. Uh, we've got Michael Warsaw said he's not feeling good. That he might be joining us later. What the you want to tell him the main topic of tonight's discussion while I look at the side chat?
Michael Warsaw said he's not feeling good.
Oops, I'm getting echo.
My bad. That was me. I forgot to mute this.
So yeah, basically what we're going to be discussing tonight is the difference between modern loads for black powder cap and ball revolvers and other black powder arms like long guns and stuff like that. The difference between historical black powder and lead uses to modern day black powder and lead uses, as well as a few other just various topics on uh, the historical accuracies of different shows and movies and things like that. I have something that I want to cover as well. Um, but where do you want to start?
First, I would like to start kind of like Uncle Jim does, like going down to see who's all here because this has been active, a lot more active than normal, and it's actually surprised me. And I'm sorry, and it's funny I'm late and this happens, and I'm sorry I'm late. But we have Michael who's on the panel. We have Crooked Creek Shooting, Warsaw Patriot who's going. He says he's probably going to be on later, but he's not feeling too good. We have Lever Guns 50. Y'all talking back and forth. Me letting y'all know what's going on. And then Thoughts of an Old Soldier. Okay.
Side panel or side chat?
Yeah, I think he's Thoughts of an Old Soldier's in the side chat. And anyway, sorry. Okay, I'm trying to. Hold on one second. Okay, baby. She wants to jump on. Hi, Lever Gun. Hi, everybody. Sorry. Trying to get everything situated. Usually I have this stuff already. You can ask Michael. I usually have all this stuff done before we get everything done.
Before we.
That's me again. Sorry. Okay. We talk now. Why don't you go ahead and while I'm doing this, talk about what you want to talk about, and then we can get into what I wanted to talk about.
Well, one of the, I guess, kind of little gripes or whatever that we've been kind of talking about recently is the inaccuracies in movies and television shows and things like that that are supposed to be portraying historical or roughly historical timelines. And they're using props and stuff that just are not cohesive to, the time frame. Such as either clothing or particularly the firearms that are being used. Hey, Thoughts of an Old Soldier.
Oh, you can see the side chat too? Okay.
Yeah, I got my my dad's laptop set up, so that's why I was kind of running myself. But anyway, one of the things that kind of bugged me recently was somebody, and I won't name who it was, did a video recently about a firearm or a black powder. Well, actually, let's see. I think it was actually a black powder, but anyway, it was supposed to be the so-called man with no name that Cimarron came out with. And they came out with several different versions of it. And the one that's actually used in the Man with No Name series is a 73. And the one that he showed in his video was what looked to be a black powder cap and ball revolver, with just the handle or the grip that had the the silver snake on there, and it was basically just a 51 Navy with these modified grips. So I went to Cimarron Arms, today, and I looked at it, and sure enough, yeah, they did have the actual single action Army model, which is more correct to the actual movie. Of course, we don't really know when that time frame of, or that those movies, historically, but all of those movies, really don't have any historical reference anyway. They're just fictional characters. But what kind of bugged me about this person's video is like, oh, this is like, they claim that was the exact model that was used in the movie, and it clearly wasn't. So that was just my kind of gripe.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to add that, like I said, they have several different models that fall under the category of, the man with no name. And the 51 Navy, they do have one that's like, it's a gated, conversion. So it was converted from a 36 caliber to a, 38 Colt, 38 Special. And I just thought that was kind of strange because it has no actual historical significance. I mean, it's definitely totally just a movie or a fictional prop gun, But I guess if that's what you want, that's what you want. Everybody's entitled to their own, wants and needs or whatever. But yeah, that's it.
My big pet peeve is I had never until you. I think it was me, you, and Dustin on his last live stream that he actually had on his main channel before he started the live channel.
Oh, Duke, you mean?
Yeah, Duke. Did I say Dustin?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to talk to him about some things. And so he's on my brain. Sorry. And so I watched all of the Hell on Wheels stuff. Literally every episode in like 2 days. And I literally counted up every Griswold, and I'm air quoting that.
Yeah.
Y'all understand why in a minute. That they had, and from what I was able to count, there is way more in that show than probably was produced historically. If I'm not, if they got the historical facts right, it would have been a perfect show. Because there's good story there's good character development, there's a lot of good things there, but the guns. Oh, and the fact that they blatantly show you, hi baby, him reloading the Remington new model Army, right? And then it's empty. He takes an empty cylinder out, puts it in his pocket, and loads a brand new unfired cylinder into the gun. And it looks like this. And then proceeds not 5 seconds later to shoot somebody. I mean, what the? I know they couldn't exactly. There's ways to fake loading a cap and ball revolver to make it look like it's loaded, right? And then you go cut, switch out, put a cylinder with just the nipples on, and then bang, and then action. But just to go from empty cylinder, pocket, supposedly unloaded cylinder, and then bang, shortly after that, and the person takes a bullet. That scene right there just made me go, no, no. It should have went click, and then he threw the gun at him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or he just dropped the gun and pulled another one, which
yeah,
was more historically accurate. That's why a lot of the cavalrymen, had two saddle guns, and two, on their
sashes, belts.
Yeah.
I think there was even one picture where they had like a guy had it just kind of stuffed like right in like the little flap of his shirt, while he had two in his waistband.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, okay, what? Okay, what? Okay. Warsaw asked me if I agreed, and I'm asking what he agree. I'm supposed to be agreeing with.
He said something about Red Dead Redemption. Colin Bohannon looks like John Marston from Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, he kind of does.
I don't play video games anymore. That sounds like a fun game to play, but I just don't have time to play video games.
Well, I've been thinking about bringing it back because I've gotten a lot of questions, but it just didn't get a lot of views. I mean, I don't want to put like an hour into something and then it get like 5 views.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many, other YouTube creators that are, doing video
But
games. Their whole platform is based on video games, and I have, I don't think I would reach that same,
oh yeah. All right, Steven. See you when you get back. Warsaw says make sure to do good actions, Jeremy. If you don't, you get the bad ending in the game, Jeremy. It's take the movie Zulu Dawn that shows the infantry using Henry Martini carbines when in reality they were using full size Martini Henrys. He does have a point.
Not sure.
But if I'm not mistaken, at the time that was made, it was easier to get the Martini carbines than it was the full size carbines. The full size rifle. So but at the same time, it's still technically the same gun. It's still technically historically accurate. But it's better than showing a brass frame. Okay, let's go into this real quick. You got your Griswold, right?
Yep.
All right. That's a Griswold, everyone. Here, I'm trying to make it to where you can present to everybody. Hold on one second. So, everyone keep that picture in your mind.
This is an accurate Griswold reproduction, and I know that because I've seen videos and pictures of actual Griswolds, and this is by far the most accurate reproduction I've ever come across. And this was made by Pieta.
I'm pulling up pictures real quick. That doesn't have like an actual site to it. Actually, this looks like is right here. Hold on. Well, it's on midway, but oh well. Okay, hold on 1 second, people.
I think EMF is the only other website that they sell the Griswold reproductions.
Okay. I'm about to share screen with everybody. I think they should be able to start seeing. Okay. This is what Colin Bohannon used. Can they see that, man? I can't. I should have had an second device up ready for this.
Well, at least I can see it here. Let me make sure it's on the.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do because.
Actually, no, they're just seeing me, I think.
They're still just seeing you.
Yeah. Oh, because you probably have me on.
Oh, yeah. Present to everyone.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what. Okay. Now, like I said, let me make sure I'm not screwing up again. So we're gonna have to be doing this a few times. I better have a second device up. They're not seeing it yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag still.
Probably on my end. Okay, come on. Is it not? Okay, let me stop the screen sharing. Hold on. Hi, Rebecca. Okay, stop. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I know what it is. Okay, present to everyone. Okay, now they're seeing me. Application window. There we go. Share. Give it a second. Come on. Why is it not screen sharing? Why are you not screen sharing? There it goes. Okay. Yeah, this is what a lot. Well, not just him, but a lot of people used, and they called it a Griswold.
Yeah, there it is. So
Yeah.
basically, just a 1860 Army
Yeah, and this
or a 61 a 61 Army.
1860 Army. The 62 was the Navy model. Yeah.
Or yeah, 62 if they wanted to be actually accurate in the caliber, because the
Hello.
Griswold 36, and you can find them on the market, the reproduction models in 44, but that's not historically accurate. The actual historical Griswolds were only made in 36 caliber.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm trying to. I say something because it keeps making me present. I have to switch back and forth. I don't know what's going on now. All right, let everything catch up. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to be clicking back and forth, and this is not no. No, no, no. Okay.
Yeah, if you click on present to everyone, you have to manually turn it back off.
Okay. Let's stop presenting. Yeah, it's that's the thing. It's throwing up this white box run. Okay, come on now.
Seems like it's, or are you trying to show something?
No, I'm not trying to show anything. It's just that's what I'm saying. It's all right. Say something real quick. That white box finally went away.
Um, yeah, I mean, no, it seemed like it was working fine.
Hit it with a hammer. Did that fix it? Yeah, it fixed it. Thank you, thoughts. Well, I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. Okay, I have a feeling we've probably got a few comments about that. So let's. Okay, that's the last one I read. Stephen, uh, Rebecca, my little beauty queen, asked favorite movie with guns. You you want to go take that one first?
Favorite movie with guns? I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, probably my favorite real, realistic or actual gun that exists that was ever used in a movie has got to be the Model 29 Smith and Wesson 44 Magnum, which Dirty Harry used. Because ever since that movie came out, not just myself, but just about everybody else in the United States saw the 44 Magnum and said, "Ooh, I want to have that." And then they couldn't keep them on the shelves. Favorite like fictional movie gun? Oh man, there's like a few of them. The um, the modified Beretta full auto that RoboCop used. That's a freaking awesome gun. Uh, the big pulse rifle from the Aliens movie. That's awesome. Which actually, I found out that was actually basically just a modified M60, uh, like from Vietnam era M60, because it had the top loading gate for the belt, and you can see you actually see them close it, in the movie,
Mhm.
in that one scene where they're like getting all armed up and everything.
You know what the cool thing? Not to cut you off, but since you're on aliens, the cool thing about the assault rifle that they were classification of weapons they were using was a extended barrel Thompson that
Oh,
they fabricated stuff just to fit around it, then be held together with screws. That was
yeah,
literally it.
yeah, they put all just the extra stuff on there to make it look all fancy.
Mhm.
So they used actual guns and they just modified them to look the way they looked in the movie, or
Uh,
gun parts.
they
Um,
did that also with Star Wars too.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Super, um, machine gun or whatever it was. Little, I forgot.
Rebecca said pretty. Thoughts of an old soldier says, I'm too old for video games, I think. Uh, is really anyone ever too old for video games? I mean, it kind of depends. If you play solitaire on your computer, you're playing a video game, buddy. I mean, it just kind of depends what kind of games you play. I mean, I just I use video games as an escape from reality because they're totally fiction and it's fun, and it's nice. It's a little bit of an escape. It's the story that is great, beautiful. I have no clue what Warsaw means by that. Average Joe Hunter, hi. I don't know if I said that or not. Says looks like a 51 with a rounded barrel. I think they kind of did that. It looks like to me, it looks like a 51 Navy and a Walker had a love child.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, when Griswold and Gunnison got together, see, back in those days, there was no such thing as copyright. So they literally just the 51 Navy, um, and I believe the first Griswolds actually did have the octagonal barrel, and you can see that by um, the mouth or the throat of the barrel still has the semblance of the octagon uh, lathing in it. But to just save time and money, they ended up doing it round because it was just quicker and easier, and it didn't use much uh, material either. The reason they were brass framed, which is historically accurate, is because iron and steel were not as readily available in those areas in the South. So
And the
there,
Confederate States of America. Thank you very much.
that's right. There's actually stories of them going to churches and commandeering or confiscating the bells from the bell towers and melting them down to use the brass and the copper, as well as various other establishments, saloons, bars, things like that that had lying around. So that's kind of funny. Um,
But
so basically, and then this was also the precursor to the Dance Brothers, um, model. They use this same, basic feature. It still had the same basic features, except they were able to use iron for their frames.
what's the one that looks kind of like the Remington, but it's brass framed? But they didn't make a lot of guns of it. I can't remember what it's called. There is actually one that the South tried to copy the Remington, and it just didn't work very well because it was brass framed.
I
I can't remember
think
what it's called.
Burr.
What was that? You broke up for a second on my end.
I think you're thinking of the Spiller and Burr. That's the one that looks kind of like a Remington. Oh, hey, Warsaw.
Hey, Warsaw.
Hey, what's
That's
up?
probably what you broke up for.
Yeah, not much. How's it going?
Okay, I gotta say my favorite movies, and then Warsaw, since he jumped in now, has to say his. Because I've thought of mine. It's a tie between Tombstone, Lonesome Dove, and Pale Rider. And I'm gonna give you a reason why Pale Rider, because you see a lot of cartridge era guns converted, like the Richard Masons used by the bad guys, and then you've got the early cartridge Remington used by Clint Eastwood's character, which everyone calls Preacher in that, which is I find funny because there's a Mountain Man book series called Preacher. Anyway, and so it just you got so that's kind of historically accurate guns. It's got a good story, and it's just let's face it, it's Clint Eastwood. I think, and then Tombstone. Let's just face it, it's Tombstone. What's not to love about it?
Well,
And then you've got Lonesome Dove.
the best part about Tombstone was just the dialogue. I mean, it's got just classic lines from that classic quotes from that movie that
Yeah,
everywhere.
you're so drunk that you can't even shoot straight. Well, I've got two guns, one for each of you. I'm your Huckleberry. No.
Actually, I think there's even a bourbon or a whiskey company called Skin That Smoke Wagon or something now.
Probably. I mean, it's like that's like epic. That is like I hate to say this. That movie is totally a meme now,
Yeah.
and just what Val Kilmer did to become Doc Holliday is like holy moly. You know, I mean, he lost a lot of weight. He walked around with a spray ball to make himself look like he's sweating all the time. I mean, I mean,
Well, even their facial hair, all of their beards and mustache were all real, legit. Like Kurt Russell. I mean, he grew out that big handlebar mustache and everything, and he said that was the. I saw an interview with him, and he said like that was the probably most infuriating part of the whole movie was trying to keep that mustache looking so good.
oh yeah, I bet. Uh, your turn, Warsaw. Try to catch him on the.
Oh man, there's just so many, man. Are we talking modern or are we talking the old west?
Whatever you consider your favorite. I mean,
There's just so many, man. Oh god.
something you have watched 1,000 times, know every line to, but still put it in because you don't want to watch anything else. You're like, okay, I'll watch this.
I mean, there was a series that was like that, but I mean, shoot, what was that called? Ah, shoot.
I just
On
saw
top of my
your
head. Go ahead.
I just saw your comment about the Thompson and it from Aliens.
I was. No, but for westerns, I would say, um, what really got me started in westerns was that movie. Shoot, was it the Quick and the Dead?
Let's not go into that one. I've got a lot of nitpicks about that one.
Well, then there was Tombstone, of course. I love that one. Ex- Speaking of which, actually, what really got me into westerns was Clint Eastwood. It was actually watching the Josie Wales.
Oh God, I forgot about Josie Wales.
Josie Wales is the quintessential Western in my book.
Oh God.
No,
And
here's a question. Have you guys ever seen the original Django?
yeah,
No, I have not.
uh,
Unfortunately.
Well, I've seen both of them. There's two that were original back in that time period of the spaghetti westerns.
yep. I forget the name of the actor, but he was Greek or Spanish. I forgot.
I have a question. Rebecca, who are you talking about? Did he smoke? When you said did he smoke a lot of cowboy killers to vet his voice like that? Are you Big Jake's a good one? Jeremiah. Oh God, let's not talk about Jeremiah Johnson.
That was a good one.
It was, but at the same time, Jeremiah makes me think of the song that I'm named after. So let's not go there.
Um, because we're are because of the topic that I was speaking of earlier about the man with no name pistol that Cimarron came out with. I went ahead and earlier today, popped in uh, the first of that series, which is Fistful of Dollars. And Fistful of Dollars, a lot of people don't realize, was kind of unsanctioned version of the Japanese samurai movie starring Toshiro Mifune, known as Yojimbo, um, which the word Yojimbo in Japanese means bodyguard. Um, but that movie, that was probably the one that started me on liking westerns. Uh, that was probably the first western I think I ever saw that I remember. And then of course there was a lot of John Wayne movies because of course I had older brothers and my dad as well. He likes
My
westerns.
grand, my grandpa and my mother on that one, along with Lonesome Dove.
When I was young, I mean, I despised John Wayne. I didn't like him. I didn't like the way he talked and the way he walked and everything. I thought it was just too overly exaggerated. So he didn't. To me, he didn't come off like as a realistic character. But it wasn't until later that I realized why he did those things, and it wasn't so much to be historically acting. It was more. It had to do more with his acting and the way he spoke, and because of his voice, he had such a deep, low baritone voice. I saw an interview with him, uh, and the interviewer asked, what was the best uh, um, advice that he had ever received as far as like his acting or how to become a better actor. And he said, speak loudly and speak slowly. And that's why he spoke the way he spoke in his movies,
Hmm.
just so that people could understand what he was saying.
And you know who told him that advice?
I forgot who it was, but it was another well
Well,
known.
well, let's just say we talked about a movie he was in. Well, not him, but Kurt Russell portrayed him
Oh,
in a certain.
yeah, I think it was um, Wyatt Earp that told him that.
Yeah, because it was Wyatt Earp talked to a lot of those early cowboys, and John Wayne was one of them, and he gave them all that advice. But if you notice, John Wayne's the only one that became that listened to it, right? And I mean, let's face it, John Wayne put out over 50 movies in his career. I know I can think of how about of just westerns I know of.
Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead, Star.
the best movie I saw in my childhood when I first got into westerns, actually when I was a kid, was watching the movie True Grit, and John Wayne was in as him.
Fill your hands, you son of a bitch.
Now, my favorite part in that movie actually was when they spotted the rat in the kitchen. And he said, "Hey, I'll kill that son of a bitch."
Oh, okay. We've all seen the original, I have a feeling, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I've seen the remake. The remake of 2012 was also good.
It was good, but I hate to say this. The John Wayne one is above it. It is. It's just Rooster Cogburn was good.
I like Rooster Cogburn.
The person that played Matty Ross was good. It's the Texan. He felt like someone from Tennessee, not Texas. So, but the thing is, the remakes stay closer to the book than the John Wayne did. So, but the John Wayne one was, well, let's face it, it was visually spectacular.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen
I
Blue
mean,
Hammer? Sorry,
oh,
go ahead, Warsaw.
I mean, what about Jeff Bridges though? Didn't he do a good job though playing
That's
Rooster
what
Cogburn?
that's what I'm saying. From the remake, Rooster Cogburn was great, and Matty Ross. It's just,
Jeff Bridges.
yeah, Jeff Bridges. He did a good. Uh, good. He portrayed Rooster Cogburn for almost. You could believe he was a drunk. I mean, he was a drunk Confederate guy that's seen a lot of and doesn't want to talk about it, and he shoots you just about as fast as speak to you.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the actress name that played Matty Ross, in the remake. I cannot think of her name to save my life. You believe that she was, well, spoiled little brat that needed a switch across her arse. And, well, it's just the Texas Ranger. That's what kind of ruined it. And it just seems like.
They got
Go ahead,
that
Michael.
because it's Matt.
But that's what I'm saying. It just didn't feel, and also it wasn't as. The first one, it was more visually stunning. That the backdrop in a lot of John Wayne movies were a character in the movie as well. And the remake, I mean, when you go remake that, how do you do that again? I mean, is Vanessa here? Hi, Vanessa Kitty. You know, I'm partaking of Maxwell House and my own. Oh crap! I got to put more tobacco in this. And I'm actually rolling. I actually forgot to buy me some cigars today.
Yeah, I was gonna try to jump out and go get some myself, and I plumb forgot. Or well, not that I forgot. I just ran out of time.
So I'm actually hand rolling some cowboy killers, as my baby likes to call them. But actually they are. But so, and probably partake my pipe for a few times. But
Haley Stein, that's the name of the girl that played Maddie Ross in the remake.
okay, I just could not think. I knew she. I think wasn't that like her first role?
It was her first big role.
Yeah, that's probably why I can't remember her name. I think that's like the only thing I've ever seen her in. I think, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I would watch the remake, but from time to time. But I prefer the original better. Because here's the thing: the first time I heard John Wayne say "son of a bitch," I'm sitting there like, "What?" Because I had never in any of his movies heard him swear before. You know, that was like a freaking big deal back then. John Wayne swore in the movie. But of course, I was also like 9, so. Maxwell, baby. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say like yeah, that's true. I really don't recall many movies that John Wayne was in where he used any kind of foul language.
Yeah, he didn't use them, but now, like in the Cowboys, there was a lot of it, but not from him though.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like not from him, maybe from other actors, but not from him in particular.
And if I'm not mistaken, the original True Grit wasn't that like Robert Duvall, like one of his big breaks because he got that part.
Yep. I think before then he was just working mainly on television. But that was like, yeah, that was one of his, or I think that was like his big breakout role, if I do remember correctly.
Rebecca says, "My virgin ears, lol." Honey, I've heard you say worse things than that. Yeah, Henry Fonda was another great Western actor, but I just haven't seen a lot of his movies because most of the ones that I have are in black and white, and black and white movies make me go.
Yeah, check out Once Upon a Time in the Old West. Henry Fonda. Oh God, I forget the name of that other actor. But a young uh, Charles Bronson is in that as well.
Thoughts of an Old Soldier says Big Jake fight scene with his son Patrick Wayne. Yeah, yeah. As he got older, a lot of his kids started getting into his movies. Uh,
He was in Big Jake, and I think, oh gosh, what was the?
think wasn't he like a background actors in the Alamo? I think
Mm, maybe.
Magnificent Seven was good too.
original or remake.
The original was good.
Yeah, the remake. I like the original better. The remake kind of followed the same storyline, but tried to introduce it to a new audience.
See, my problem with the Magnificent Seven is I watched Seven Samurai, which that movie is based off. Again, that was another unsanctioned kind of remake of a Japanese movie meant to, bring it to, bring that story to an American audience. Because back then, international films weren't, you know, big, especially if it was coming from Japan, considering we just had a big war with them.
Yeah,
They didn't go over very well. Anything from Japan didn't go over very well here in the United States for quite some time.
yeah,
60s, once Bruce Lee introduced martial arts to the American public, and uh, then the whole chop sake stuff started kind of becoming more and more. Uh, Americans started becoming more interested in that stuff. But
you
yeah,
know,
I saw the original Seven Samurai, and then I saw Magnificent Seven. Later, I I saw the you know um, how it was resembling one to the other, and I just didn't really like it, and I wasn't really big into Yul Brenner either. Sorry.
well, I'm sorry. It just the new one. It feels like it's trying to be funny and actiony, and it doesn't do a good job of being either one. I mean, you can have an action movie that has comedy moments in it. I mean, look at Die Hard. I mean, let's face it, there's comedy in there and there's a lot of action, but the comedy doesn't feel forced. It feels genuine. It's like,
Yeah.
come to New York, we'll have a great time. Like things an average Joe would say to himself if he was in that situation. Thoughts on Old Soldier says McClintock, Green Berets, Alamo. I thought he was in more. I thought he was in more than that. Really?
Shoot, who's that actor I used to watch all the time? Shoot, Sam Elliott. I used to watch a lot of his movies too.
Oh man, Sam Elliott.
Oh God. I'm sorry. I wish to one day to have a voice like Sam Elliott's. That way I could grow out, then I could just grow out the beard and just be, I'd be. Oh, no, what's bad is there are 20 somethings that think Sam Elliott is hot because of that voice. And I'm like, he's in his, 60s now?
60s, 70s.
Yeah, and you know, they're, but of course, you know, that voice. But also, of course, if you want like, hey JH, we're actually about to. I think we're about to move off of movie topics and talk about historical lead hardness here in a minute. I think the Searchers. That's it. That's the one I was thinking of. I knew he was in one more. It's not a boy crush. It's a more well.
It's a man crush.
Yeah, but let's face it. That voice. You hear that voice, even if
Voice,
it's like in an animated movie.
the
You know
voice
who?
mustache.
Yeah,
He's
but he
got
looks,
the most awesome mustaches in all of history.
yeah. But let's face it. He could be an animated dinosaur, right? And but you hear that voice. That's fucking Sam Elliott.
Hmm. Well, when he was doing the Coors commercials, Coors, like the first time I heard it, I was like, "Is that it?"
The Ram pickup trucks. I remember him watching.
Yeah, yeah. Dodge Ram. Yeah, he used to do the Dodge commercials. Now he's doing some other commercial that I forgot.
He's got his own TV show. Fudge, what is it called?
Well, there's that one Netflix called The Ranch.
Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's all right.
It you can tell it's not trying to take itself too seriously.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's meant to be kind of like a sitcom type.
Yeah, beef. It's what's for dinner.
Yeah, the beef. Yeah,
Yeah.
beef.
Well,
Now, here's a movie I would ask if you've seen. Have you seen shit? What was it? The Long Riders.
Yep.
uh,
It's basically
probably.
Jesse James.
The what's that?
It's basically Jesse James. You know, the Jesse James gang.
Oh yeah, okay.
Probably.
My big question though for him was, here's the big debate about outlaws from heroes. You could have said like back in the old day of the old West, he was like the Western version of the Robin Hood. Because he was robbing banks and giving some of the money to the poor that needed it.
Yeah, basically.
What do you think, Jeremy?
I can't remember if I've seen it or not.
No, I mean for like the actual guy, Jesse James. I mean, what do you think? You think he was like a Robin Hood of the old West?
I think he was a Southerner that hated Yanks,
All right.
and he shot a lot of people.
So did Billy the Kid.
Yeah, well, let's face it. Billy the Kid wasn't all there.
Yeah, the Sackets. That was a good one. I haven't seen that one in a while though too. Oh, I remember that TV show, The Young Riders. I used to love that show.
Okay, whoa. But JH, if you want to come on, let it, one of me or Michael. No, we're just saying the chat, and we'll gladly have you on. Yes, I know my Yankee Queen. But I'm a Southerner. I don't know if I could ever live up north. It'd be. I don't know if I could understand y'all half the time. But but I've been hearing a lot, and I want y'all's opinion before we start looking at the research and everything. I start screen sharing. For cap and ball revolvers, we've all agreed that the softer the lead, the better, right? Because you get longer, ease of loading, the main thing, right? But for other type of guns, historically, a lot of people say, oh, they were just pure lead. What's y'all's opinion on that before we kind of do the switch over to this and look at the historical side of this?
Well, my thing is just, because, and of course, I'm just assuming. I really don't know the actual historical facts, but just knowing what I know, um, back then, materials were so scarce, especially during wartime. So they were just using whatever they had on hand, as far as, resources. But the other thing too is, as far as like lead purity, did they really know back then how to test lead purity? Did it really matter to them that much? That's another thing. Like, again, I'm just making assumptions, but when you're in the thick of it and you got bullets whizzing at you, are you going to sit there and say, "Oh wait, no, this bullet isn't soft enough"? No, you're just going to stuff that sucker in there and hope it
Beat it
doesn't
with a
blow.
hammer if you have to.
Yeah, exactly. And that also goes to a whole other subject on wadding and all that stuff too. Um, and other loading techniques that I feel are more modernized than what was actually done historically.
Uh, Warsaw.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know a lot about about certain black powder rifles or pistols that much. I will say this though, it was definitely a big transit back in the Civil War and from the Old West because what really started is just mostly modernization. Where we had to muzzle loading to actual cap and ball to then we actually had brass brass cased ammo. Then it was definitely a big shift because I mean we had like what we had the Springfield, we had the Spencer, then we led to the Henry action or lever action repeating rifles.
Uh, okay, could you say that again? Because on my end, you broke up for just a second.
Sure. Basically, as I said, it's a big transaction because it's basically the shift in modernization. Where we had the cap and ball to the brass cased ammo. It's from the Civil War to the Old West. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, it's during the Civil War. Uh, a, how do I put this without sounding like a total? A lot of things advanced rapidly, very, very rapidly. But if you notice during any kind of war that happens. But my main concern is, well, the most common that you were seeing was in 44 were ones like this, right? And yes, I know that's a bad powder coat job. Uh, But you were seeing projectiles like this a lot, or maybe sometimes like this. I don't have the Colt cartridge, or I would. But the thing is, what was their for militaries? What was their standard military hardness? Was it they just say, "Oh, it's too hard. We can't use this. Get rid of it." I don't think so. I think they would have wanted something that's a little bit harder than soft lead because it deforms a little too much. So it's well, you drop it, it's no longer the shape you want. It's going to throw everything out of whack. I mean, but okay, let me get this screen share up, and this is what I pulled up while researching the load data for hardness for the sharps. Let's see, do you want to do it or not? Is it showing on y'all's end yet? It's the right one.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, this is not the right site. Hold on. Wrong site. Wrong one. Dude, I looked on a couple different ones. I think this is the right one. Yeah, north south. No, this is not it either. I had it pulled up and then this page collapsed. Historical lead hardness. I do have that typed in there, right? For sharps,
Lead choice for sharps, rifle, cast bullets.
yeah, probably sharps, carbon, cast. I think.
Well, I'm seeing the down on the websites.
That's in PDF. These are a lot of forms I was showing. I had a page up, and then like I said, to get this going, it collapsed, and now I can't find it no more. Did I click on? Was it a Wikipedia page? I can't remember. I think it was. Uh, This is just talking about the different types. I had it. I just can't find it now. I'll stop screen sharing until I can find it again.
It was probably in that cast bullets forum. There's a lot of good information there.
Yeah, just
Cast bullets.
well, everyone's saying that. Everyone I've ever talked to is saying only for black powder use only pure pure lead.
The idea too was, you wanted softer lead because you wanted expansion, because you weren't dealing with very high velocities, very high pressures. Once cartridges started, coming around, then because of the cartridge itself, it was producing higher pressures, it was producing higher velocities, and when you get that, if you have a projectile that's too soft, you're going to have expansion in the barrel, and then you're going to get a lot of leading and stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to find that. You want to find that right balance, and Well, here's the thing. I found where it said 20 to 1. I'm trying to find. Here it. Yeah, here it is. Here it is, right here. Uh,
And then it was the
talking
same,
about this.
same concept with the long guns. You didn't want overly soft lead for your rifles like you would for your pistols, because you were generating, a little bit higher pressure, a little bit more velocity, and you wanted it to, um, what's it called? I forgot the terminology or the word, where it expands a bit of the base of the bullet to basically gas check it so that you're, getting optimum uh, pressure and velocity behind it when you fire it. Uh, ob, ob, objugate, objugate. I forgot the.
Obturate, I believe, is what you're looking for.
There you go. Where the base of the bullet expands slightly in the barrel to engage the rifling. Obturate. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I found what I was looking for before, and I'm going to bookmark it this time just in case. Okay, let me get this going back because it even has a Brunel. This I wanted to use this one because it had the Brunel hardness stuff on it, right? Y'all are seeing that, right? I can't see my Google Hangout at the moment.
It should come on. Yeah, it's coming on.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, it has the alloy, and then it has the Brunel hardness here. Uh, and I went on to yeah, it's the north and south square, north and south northwest territory skirmish stuff, and it has introductions right here. It's talking about incomplete feeling, bullet modes, casting equipment. I'm trying to get down to the actual lead alloys. Uh, Pure lead is about 5. Soft lead, some refer to soft lead as pure lead, but it is not 100% lead. Soft lead is frequently 98% lead with small amounts of other materials. If the other materials do not raise to if the other materials do not raise the hardness too high, the lead can still be used for minis or minays, however you want to say that. Then it's got lead in tin alloy. And I'm trying to find out what that, if they've actually say the mixture that most people use. I'm trying to find that in. I'm trying to find it. It's got lead in tin. I'm trying to remember. Sorry, on my screen, this is kind of small for me. Oh. So even what people call pure lead is not going to be considered called be 100% pure lead.
Yeah, and I think it's concept like with gold. Where you go to a jeweler and you say, "Oh, I want something that's pure gold." Well, they're not going to sell you pure gold because pure gold is just way too soft. Um, you know, if you grab something that's harder than the ring itself, you're going to deform it and eventually probably put stress fractures and stuff into it. So they add other materials to harden it up. Um, so yeah, I mean, and that's kind of like my whole point is, they would probably they probably kind of generally knew how soft a projectile had to be for the purpose they were using it for. And if it wasn't, hard enough, or if it was too hard, they would try to find lead that was softer to add to it to soften it up more. to get a softer overall, you know, hardness and all that. Because I don't know. I mean, I've never come across any kind of measuring apparatus or you know, something that they use, you know, either in the field or in the armorers, you know, department when they were, you know, actually producing munitions for uh, you know, their military back in those days. I think they just basically had an overall idea of how hard a projectile needed to be. Hard or soft, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, and well, the reason I like this article on this, is because they actually have a mention of will weight, the softest and least expensive lead tint antimony alloy. Uh, they they don't, you don't have to really add anything, but adding soft lead grit greatly reduces the quality. Many of the bullets do not fill out completely. Uh, and this person says he clearly says right here, I use straight will weights to cast bullets for my percussion sharps carbine and rifle, for 45 Colt bullets, and for bullets for a cap and ball revolver.
Hmm.
See if I can, like, can I zoom in? How do I zoom on this stupid?
See, I think anything between like 8 to, you know, 11
Uh,
would be ideal for cap and ball. You might want to go with something a little harder for, you know, 10 to 12 for a rifle, percussion rifle.
yeah. Probably I wouldn't probably go past 10. Like you, I wouldn't probably go past 10 at the hardest for my cap and ball revolvers if I'm loading off the revolver. On the revolver, like you, I would go stick between at the 8 as the hardest, just to save the loading system on it. Unless I've got like a Colt that has a more robust loading system.
Yeah, like a Walker that has the like the ratchet system.
Yeah. No, I think it's the 1860. That's the 1860 models that have the ratchet system. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first ones that have those.
Oh, really? I
I
thought they
think.
also.
I I'm not 100%. I'm not an expert in this field, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is. But yeah, will weights can be used for your. I mean, he even says it right here. That's all he uses for his percussion. I mean, percussion, sharps, rifle, carbine, and rifle for 45 Colt bullets. I mean, and bullets. He doesn't say round balls. He just says bullets.
Yeah, see, that might be all well and good for conicals, but maybe not so much for round ball.
Yeah, that's. But a lot of times, like that's people trying to be historically accurate. And I can guarantee you, this and this are the round ball that in this hand is about between 5 to 8 bh on the hardness scale.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I can hit this thing as hard as about half as hard as I have to hit this, and this is almost flat. After if I hit the same time, I'm barely deforming the nose. This is a lot harder. I've tested one of these, and well, we'll scratch one of
Well,
these round balls won't even touch that Johnson and Dow that someone casted for me. All right.
well, let me show you something real quick. This is a mini ball that I bought from Track of the Wolf. These were ones that I was gonna send you, and I don't know. Let's see, where's my camera? I don't know if you can see that or not, but you see that dent right there?
Yeah.
I mean, that dented that bottom drive band pretty good. And I dropped it, and it hit the floor and it made that dent. So this is pretty soft.
Yeah.
But like I'd almost say, and you know what? I do have a pencil. Except the only thing is I don't have the. Do you still have the rating on these pencils?
No, I do. I don't think I do.
Oh, okay. Well, this is an HB. I know Jamie's got this. So Jamie, I know you're still out there. This is an HB #2 pencil. If you can let me know what the hardness grade for this pencil is. I think it was like an 8 or a 10, something like that. So there's a nice flat surface on the nose of this. I'll do a little hardness test. Let's see if I can get this on camera. Well, first off, let me get a flat surface on the point as well, the point of this pencil. All right, so that's a pretty flat point on the pencil. So I'm gonna do and if you can see that or not.
Yeah, it scratched it.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, and I can kind of put my nail into that little groove that it made, though it's supposed to. It kind of did a little bit. Well, let's see if Jamie will chime back in. So
Yeah, if he's not on his way back home.
So actually, probably the one up from this would probably be the actual hardness of this.
Probably. But you can tell it's soft lead. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you could tell it's soft lead. Like, I could take my thumbnail and put.
whoa.
You can see it right there. I think. I mean, I can put a little indentation, just with my nail.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, he says heading to the reloading room right now. I just had like my whole chat just go on me.
And Vanessa Kitty said, "Yeah, obturate, to block or obstruct." So yeah,
Yeah, it
and
basically
it has the hollow base, and that's what that's meant to do, is to obturate and spread. Because I actually did, I was sitting here yesterday, and I was just like, I need to start thinking about, because I got online to order some musket caps, which I still haven't done, because man, it was like $75 for 1,000 of them.
Thoughts of an old soldier asked, do you get your lead in blocks? I think he's talking about like ingots.
Oh,
No, how I get my lead is, hold on one second. I'll show you how I get my lead. I just had to clean up a bunch of. Oh,
I think a lot of us guys get lead through just scraps. A lot of people use wheel weights. There's those flashing old houses and stuff. That pure lead, that's probably the best scrap you can get.
oh.
Posts.
Yeah,
friend of
this is some I cleaned. I haven't got to clean yet. He asked what pencil do you have? It was number HB number 2 pencil, I believe it was.
Yeah, it's an HB, Jamie, and it made a slight gouge. So probably the one up from this one will be the actual hardness
Uh,
of it.
he says HB is 14 to 15.
Oh wow! So this is actually pretty hard then.
I don't have that chart back up. But thoughts on soldiers. This is how I get most of my lead, and this is actually pretty soft lead. I mean, look at that. I'm just barely in it. Look at that.
Nice.
And this is honestly how I test my lead too. If I can take my thumbs and do that.
Yeah, if you can bend it or put a gouge in it with your thumbnail.
I mean, yeah. I don't have any thumbnails right now, bro. I had to clean them off. I went to go scratch the back of my neck and took a big old gouge out of the back of it. But yeah. And what sucks is I just emptied this bucket, right? I went to and I put it in my trunk. Took it. Went up there. JH asked me, sent an invite. Do I still have his stuff? That's the question. Let me save this. Make sure I have this link saved. Copy. If not, Michael, you might have to handle that. Sorry, man, but hold on, I'm trying to. It's on the wrong freaking account, so I'm trying to remember how to switch accounts on Google Hangouts.
Here, you know what? Let me see if I can just do it real quick.
Yeah, please. Wait. Wait, hold on. I have him on Headspace. I sent it to him there.
Well, I was just gonna send it to him through Hangouts real quick.
Well, okay, if I can remember how to get to my friends on Headspace.
All right. Well, I sent it to him on Hangouts.
Okay. Yeah, cause and yeah, so and I got another 5 gallon, but to finish my story, I got another 5 gallon bucket of wheel weights, and I've got all the ones I feel safe putting into my cap and ball revolvers out, and yeah. And Omnimon says hello, Omnimon. But ones like the one I showed that I snapped, I'm gonna be using those for my 45 Colts from now on. And I'm actually going to. I found out I made a way to load these off the cylinder because it's a little hard on the Remington. Found a way to reload, drive these home to my cap and ball revolver. I have to load it off the gun, but it's a lot of fun. All it takes is a block of wood, a 2x4 with a nail. Set the cylinder in there, and then take you one of those ball starters that will fit in there, and then just tap it with a little wooden rubber mallet so you don't mess up your ball starter.
Yep.
Or if you've got an old metal one that you ramrod that you broke, don't ask me how I done it, but I've done it and used that. It works. Don't we all hate mosquitoes, Warsaw?
Vanessa said she got the heck bit out of her face and neck while she was mowing her lawn today. That sucks.
Ooh. That Well, hey, I have a lizard's not as big as your pinky, the top of your pinky when you smash them. Warsaw, why are you wasting rum?
Yeah.
Use gut rot.
I'm not. No, the last time I was on the Hangouts with you guys, I had to show you that video.
Hey, there he is.
There's Jamie.
What's happening, fellas?
What's going on?
I just heard the police go by my house, and I'm wondering, like, who done what now?
Mr. Warsaw, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How about you?
Better than I deserve, but not as good as I want, so there you go.
Come on, you've got the Santa beard.
Ain't
You
that
gotta be jolly.
Yeah, I should have trimmed this mess. I'm thinking about wrapping it up like this and putting me some rubber bands around it. Just make me a little pigtail here. Works really good on the bike like that.
just show
Fine,
us.
Amanda Hawking.
Okay, where we at and what we're talking about? Talking about bullet hardness?
Yeah. But we were talking about like what they used to be like what most people load theirs for like black powder, and I showed that most people use like even like hold on. A lot of the articles I was showing about people were using like even will lights like this.
Yeah, but when you get them like that and you melt them down and you get all the stuff and you pour it into an ingot mold to get this.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it drops it down in hardness because if you scrape off like anything if you melt it down and then you flex it or let it sit there for a little bit, you'll get this like gold film at the top, and then you scrape that off and then you flux it with whatever you flux it with. Don't you get more impurities out, and so it will drop the hardness down?
Okay. The object of fluxing is to get your alloy metals back down into the metal so that you're not skimming them off with the dross and throwing them in the garbage can.
Oh, okay. So if you want like to take like say wheel weights and lower their hardness, you would just let it sit there and all that come to the top, and then you would scrape it off.
You could, but why would you want to do that? I wouldn't do that.
Well, I'm talking about say you have like you're casting like the real bullet for like your muzzle loader.
Yeah.
Like it's a little too hard, and you're trying to take some of that hardness out of it. Like you're trying to bring down the hardness a little bit.
Yeah, you can do that. That would work.
Okay.
See, that's get to last time we were talking, Jamie, about how to make the lead softer for use in powder guns.
Well, I've conceived this idea for a video about lead alloys and how to get the hardness that you want out of your pipe. So, and then y'all pop up and start talking about this tonight. So I'd kind of like to share some of my ideas with y'all and see what y'all think. If that point that you made, Jeremy, about cooking all the antimony and tin out of your that's a conception that never entered my mind, and the reason is I want my lead. I use smokeless powder, and I'm shooting them out of high velocity rifles, high power rifles, pistols. I'm trying to get 357 Magnum up to about 1,600 feet per second. I'm trying to get 35 Remington up to 2,100 feet per second. So, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. But the first thing I wanted to show y'all is how I separate my wheel weights. Okay, show that piece of lead you had there, Jeremy, again.
Hold on. Yeah, I use the one I broke.
Okay, that's it has the steel clip on it,
Mm-hmm.
so we call that a clip-on wheel weight.
Yeah, I've already melted down all my stick-on wheel weights already.
Okay, well, it just so happens
I think. Let me double check.
I got some right here, buddy. See this?
Goodness gracious, that's the biggest one I've seen.
Well, these are steel and therefore unusable to us. But this is how they come when the tire store buys them, and they have the peel and stick glue tabs on the back. You know, but the ones we're looking for are lead rather than steel.
Yeah, I just found a steel one myself.
So
Okay.
yeah, so typically they'll say that the lead ones are pure lead, and I agree with your presumption that you made earlier that there's no such thing as pure lead. We don't know what pure lead is. We can't get pure lead. I think the closest thing we could get to pure lead would be
Roofing tin, probably.
roofing tint, roofing lead, um, or maybe dental lead, where it's garden X-ray films before
Yeah.
they take X-rays of your teeth. That would probably be pretty close, but
I think the only way we can get pure lead is if we mined it,
Yeah.
well,
and even then, it might not be pure lead then either.
no, it's not going to be. It's going to be whatever the good Lord gave you. That's what you're going to get.
Will be lead ore.
All right, these right here, these round muffin tins that I have are the stick-on wheel weights. And you can see they just make beautiful little ingots. So what you got to do to test your hardness is you got to take your ingot and a file, and you got to rub down a smooth spot, because typically what happens is your antimony in your tin kind of settles to the outside, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, Jeremy, about cooking out the lead, the antimony in tin.
It seems like it wants to stay at. For me, even on my ingot molds when I'm casting wheel weights, I don't know if it's the same for you, but it seems like they wants to go rise to the top or both sides. It doesn't seem like it wants to stay. It's there on the very bottom when I'm casting wheel weights, like on the very small of that. The very bottom of it. It seems like it's more on the sides and at the top. But I'm not.
Well, lead is one of the hardest metals that we have, one of the heaviest and softest metals that we have. And you did well comparing it to gold a while ago. But I'm just taking a little bit of this outer layer off and getting a smooth area on my ingot. And I have 3 that I'd like to test for y'all, and I'll show you how to do it. I have this one that is, this one is just pure, the stick-on wheel weights. This one right here is, this is the clip-on wheel weights. And then I have this ingot that YouTube buddy of mine, MCK. I hope y'all familiar with MCK. If y'all don't know MCK, look him up. But this is an ingot that he sent me, and he made these ingot molds out of scrap iron, like angle iron. So he welded these ingots up himself. And so let's just see what these are. So I got this. The method I use is the art pencil method. I don't have a lead hardness tester. Those are like $70. So
I believe I'm.
and I have the chart right here. So if anybody needs the chart for this shows the correspondence between the number of the lead and the pencil and the BHN number. And I left that up there for a while so y'all can get a screenshot of it. If you absolutely got to have one, you can probably find it on the lead cast bullet forum.
Isn't there one Headspace in a few groups too? Night, my baby queen.
I couldn't understand that.
I said, isn't there one on like Headspace, like in a few of the reloading groups?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. But
yeah, that's right, guys. We gotta invite. Next week, I would like to have thoughts on Old Soldier on. I forgot to mention that. Of course, we didn't get a pre-game strategy thing either. Right. Yeah.
But okay. So we got our chart and we have our package of art pencils, which you can buy these at Walmart for between $6 and $7. So there's really no excuse to be walking around not knowing what the hardness of your alloy is, in my humble opinion. Michael.
Yeah. Oh, I've been really lazy lately. There's a Joanne Fabric like about a block away from me that I guarantee.
So basically, what you tell me, you could walk down the street and get something.
Yeah, I could. And I think there's the Office Max too. That's about 3 or 4 blocks away from me too. That probably have them as well.
I just haven't been to Walmart. That's the nearest art shop near me, and I just haven't been that way to one. Puppies, y'all have been good.
Okay. So this being what we would like to refer to as pure lead, we started. Pure lead on my chart is 4 to 5, but I know it's going to be harder than that. So I'm going to start with 5B, if I can see. Okay, and the trick to this, y'all, is you want to sharpen your pencil, have lots of lead showing, and then you take your file that you oh my goodness. I just got a tragic email. I'll share it with y'all later. What you want to take is you got to have a square point. You want that point. So you want to take your pencil and get it squared off like that. And then you take your sample, which you're testing, and your pencil. You want to hold it at a 45-degree angle and try to cut a slice with that point out of the lead. So that pencil right there made a mark on the lead. Let me see if I can show y'all. And you want to put the same amount of pressure on it and hold every pencil at the same angle. That's the trick. And you can see right there, all it did was make a mark. It made a pencil mark on the lead. That's all. Are we agreed?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Vanessa Kitty, hold on one second, Jamie. Vanessa has a question, and I think it's a good one. She said, "Ask square point like a chisel tip."
No, we want this flat. We want the tip square, so that we'll have a cutting surface to go across that lead. Does that make sense?
Basically, you want to put like an edge, square, a 90-degree edge on.
Right.
It. Yeah.
Okay, so let me try to do that again. This is the way I always do it is I just lay my file flat and then put my pencil perpendicular and then just go across it to get that good sharp edge. And then here we go again. Again, we're at a 45-degree angle with the same amount of pressure. All right, so that one right there made a scratch in the lead. Can y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
That made a scratch in it. But we want more than a scratch. Here comes trouble.
What trouble?
Miss Rigby. Who is that? Okay, so this one I feel like is going to do the trick. Be careful. This one's 3B. Quit.
Look.
Yeah, I see. And let's try it again. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but that actually cut the lead and laid a little bit of a lick of lead up.
Could you raise it up just a little bit, Jamie?
Is that better?
Yeah, that was better.
Can you see this one right here where it's laid a little piece up on there? Let me see if I can do a better one. Well, first of all, let me sharpen this pencil like I've been doing the others. Gotta make it fair and equal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought I had showed y'all this before.
You probably have, but we have new people come on all the time asking these kind of questions. And so we try to answer them as much as possible. We went on like a movie rant for like the first half of this.
All right. Can you see
gotta
it
say-
at all? It's hard to show it, but that actually, right there, it actually cut the lead right there.
And it pushed up a little bit of it, kind of pushed up a piece.
Made a little curl. But that's what you want. The softest pencil that will make that little curl on the end of it. And you can feel it cutting instead of just scratching or making a mark. So when the first pencil that's hard enough to feel that cut, that's how hard your metal is. This one is, didn't I say it was a 3B?
I believe so.
That's a 3B. 3B on this one is a 10. BHN 10, which is 20-1 lead and 10, and it even says wheel weights. Okay. So that gives us what our stick-on wheel weights is 10, which is great for you guys. I mean, y'all could take and cook that up for maybe 45 minutes and scrape the antimony and tin off that. You get it down to 8 easy. But these were just cast up last week. I just made these ingots last week. But if I waited 6 months and tested it again, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to increase BHN hardness as time goes on. So we got a 10. Let's try this one. This is our clip-on wheel weight alloy.
Warsaw says he's got to go and buy Warsaw.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Jeremy. It's been a good time and a pleasure talking with you guys.
No problem. I'm sorry you didn't talk a lot, like normal.
Yeah, it's fine, man.
You
It's
just
very educational, though, man.
hey, just speak up. That's all. I mean,
Sorry I'm boring, Warsaw. I get it, though. I really do.
No, man, you're actually educating me, man. Anyway, guys, you have fun.
you
See
too.
buddy.
Take care.
All right, so maybe y'all can see the difference where I just filed that off. You see where I got the end of that filed off? Can y'all tell the difference?
Yeah, it
One
looks
side shinier. Yeah.
Okay, that's where we're going to test. So I know this one's not going to cut it. This is the one that cut the last, so we'll try it. And it's not even, it made a mark. So let's jump up to the next one. In case y'all wondering, we have vacation Bible school this week at my church, so the grandbaby's at our house and will be all week.
I think mine is next week or the week after. I'm not sure. I'd have to talk to my mother. I can't remember, honestly.
Now I can't find my file. Getting old ain't for sissies, boys.
Uh,
All right.
no, ours is in July. My bad.
All right, here we go. Same angle, same amount of pressure. Can y'all see the two lines right beside each other?
Yes, sir. And
And
okay,
they're
thoughts.
just,
Okay, thoughts, old soldier. You take care. You take care of yourself too.
Yep, have a good one. Thoughts of an old soldier.
see you, buddy. We got to have him on Georgia Shooting Connection.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get his contact information so we could get him on one of ours. I just keep. By the time one of these, it seems like literally by the time I start thinking about one of these, it's a day or two before Tuesday.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm already getting guests lined up for
I'll be right back, John.
Okay.
our thing Friday night.
I missed last Friday. I had to watch the rerun. I wanted to go take me a little nap, and I slept until about 10 o'clock that night.
Well, there you go. Your body needed it, brother.
Yeah, I haven't been getting a lot of sleep here lately.
I think this one's doing it. All right. Can we see that? Am I too close? The glare is what gets you.
Yeah,
Better.
yeah, that's a little better. Well, at least on my end. I don't know about on the.
There we go.
Yeah, that should be perfect.
All right. So that one laid up the little curl right there. So this batch of clip-on wheel weights, this is a 2B. 2B is 11 or 12. That's hard for me to believe because a lot of my wheel weights are running 16 to 18. But then again, this has just been cast up this past week. But it is what it is. 2B, that's going to be 11 to 12. So that's a good place to start. Then I've got linotype in there, which I need to test, and I'll do on that video when I make it. And I've got this one from MCK, and he told me it was 11 to 12, so there's really no need of testing it. I will before I use it, but
Yeah, it's always good to double. It's kind of like when you're going to build a house. It's better to measure twice and cut once.
right. And so then you just add your linotype to make it harder, and add some softer metal, softer lead to make it softer. But what we're after, the goal is, like you guys were talking about for a little bit earlier, is to match our BHN to the pressure generated by our round, so that we get the perfect amount of obtration and we get that gas seal. So you bullet, when you fire the trigger and that the powder starts to burn, creates that gas, the bullet needs to act like a marshmallow. You squeeze the marshmallow, it gets bigger around. The pressure from that round needs to be like your two fingers squeezing the marshmallow and make it puff out, make the bullet puff out, engage the rifling, seal off the gas so that the gas is not cutting through the lead on the edges. That's going to kill your accuracy, and it's going to lead your barrel. And eventually, if it's left unchecked and you're not cleaning the lead out of your barrel, it'll blow your gun up.
Yeah.
And hurt you.
Yeah, and and with using Trail Boss and pure, well, as pure as you can get, roofing tin for my 45 coats, I've noticed that it does a good gas seal, but sometimes it's a little too much, and I'll have leading left in the barrel, lead shavings left in the barrel, and I'll have to stop every so often and kind of push bore brush through it while I'm at the range.
Well, if you're,
I take me one of these to the range just in case.
yeah.
Uh,
But if your lead's too hard, you get that the bullet fails to obturate, and then it doesn't seal and it cuts. That you get the lead cutting. So too hard or too soft, either one is bad. That's the reason you need to match the hardness of the lead with the pressure the round is generating to get that optimum amount of obturation.
yeah.
To prevent leading. And if you don't have, those of you who have the Lee second edition reloading manual, it's called Modern Reloading by Richard Lee.
I believe I do. I think I have the PDF file of it.
Well, on page, I think it's 107, there's a chart on there for your to show you the amount of pressure matched with the BHN. You have that book, don't you, Mike?
The cast handbook.
No, the Lee second edition Modern Reloading.
Yes, I do.
I can't pull up my PDF files to see if I have it or not.
I know you're kind of busy right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I believe it or not, I'm actually doing this and watching the side chat is actually kind of taxing on this computer.
Okay, so the book looks like this.
Yeah, I have that one on the PDF file. Yeah, I haven't got to it yet. I haven't got to reading it yet.
Well, before you start doing any serious amount of reloading, I recommend that you read the front part of this book.
What I'm looking for is because I'm running Trail Boss in a lot of my 45 Colt for like hunting, and I'm running 6 grains of it, which gives me the legal pressure to hunt with 45 Colt as my sidearm. And I have it for in case of emergencies. And it just seems like at those pressure at that 6 grains, this pure roofing tin is just too soft. It obturates too much, and I'm getting lead left in the barrel. So I'm going to try taking some of these wheel weights, letting it cook for about 30 minutes, let some of that get at the top, scrape it off, and just kind of see if that's where I need to be at. See if it's a little harder, obturates, but it doesn't over obturate or it doesn't under obturate. You know, it's just
Yeah, well, here's the chart on page 107. That's the information you need to match your
uh,
pressure.
no offense, Jamie. I just cannot see that. It's like blur. It's all blurry. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but it's just blurry on my end.
You're just about going to have the book.
Yeah. Whew.
So basically, this is telling you the size of the indent made by the lead hardness tester, the BHN hardness, and the maximum amount of pressure per square inch that bullet would take. It gives you the strength of the alloy, and then it gives you the maximum pressure for that bullet to hold together. So, in other words, your strength, you don't want to get too close to the strength of the alloy with your pressure, because that'll degenerate just blow the bullet to pieces before it gets out of it.
Vanessa Kitty asked for if you could show that again, please.
If you think it'd do any good, Michael and I both put it up there.
I don't know if that'll show up very good or not.
Yeah, it shows up real good, Michael.
Yeah, I think she's asking for the name of the book. It's the Lee Modern Hand Loader, right?
It's called Modern Reloading,
Modern Reloading.
second edition by Richard Lee. And if you buy a Lee press kit, this book will come in that kit.
Yep.
Or it did with mine, I'll say that. Is that how you got yours, Michael?
Yeah, I got this one in my 4-hole turret, but I got the kit one that came with a whole bunch of stuff. So
See,
that's part of the reason why I got it, is because it came with this, and I really wanted to get. I was actually, when I ended up ordering my press, I was looking to get the Lyman and this book, and I said, well, I might as well just buy the press, because at the time it was around my birthday. It was like a few days after my birthday, so I had the 10 or 15% off and all that deal and everything through Midway. So I said, well, you know what, to heck with it. Why am I just going to buy 2 books? I might as well just buy the press that comes with this book at least, and that'll get me going. And sure enough, it did. And I did. I read up to this part, when I was doing my reading. But I'll be honest, I haven't read the whole book, but I basically read, up into. Let's see.
The reloading book I'm on right now is the Black Powder Reloading book. But I'm like on page 5. I haven't made it too far in. I've been too busy.
There's a total of 13 chapters, and I got all the way up to chapter 11. Once it got to gas checks and stuff, I was like, well, I don't really need to know anything about that just yet. And reloading shot. However, I did read part of chapter 13, which talks about muzzleloader.
In that book, do they have any for 28 gauge?
They probably
No.
do. No,
No.
it doesn't.
Dang it, that's what I'm looking. Not 28 gauge, 16 gauge. I'm what I'm looking at, because that's. I finally found a place that told me about what caliber it was, and it would be about a 16 gauge for that smoothbore that I've got. And I've got shot for it. I got some bird shot for it now, and I was going to test that out. And I was looking for some bird shot, 16 gauge bird shot loads. without having to run equal parts, which you can. Which I found out that you can do with shotguns. You just whatever your charge is the same for your how many pellets you put in. The shot you put in that pellets. I don't know why I want to say pellets, but the bigger your charge, the bigger. Anyway, I'm still learning shotgun, so that's why I was asking if it had anything in there, because that's kind of what I've been looking for is like shotgun reloading data right now. Because I've got like 3 pages of like 45 Colt, like of handwritten notes that I've made of 45 Colt data. Now I need to start looking at 20 gauge and my 16 gauge stuff.
Yeah, this just rifle. It doesn't have shotgun.
Okay.
I don't know about 16, but I know he loads. I know he does 12 and maybe 20, but that's Ocean 374. Get in touch with him. He'll hook you up. He'll show you what books to get.
I think last time he was on a live stream, he recommended a bunch of books. Some are on my to-buy list, and some I have in a PDF file. And there's a lot of reading, and and having this laptop in my lap as I try to go to sleep is not a good idea, because that's when I like to. That's when I get the urge to read the most, is when I go to sleep. When it's time for me to go to sleep. I don't know why, but reading helps me go to sleep. And believe it or not, this is the 3rd time I've read this book here. Well, this 2 books put together. And see, I bought a kit, right? When Midway was having I was having the birthday sale for mine, right? But I got the hand press. That's when I got mine. It didn't come with any kind of reloading manual. The first reloading manual I had was when I got the die set.
Right.
Hey, Wes Covina. Wait, why is Wes Covina not a moderator? I made him one last stream, didn't I?
Hey, Pat.
Add moderator. I know Wes Covina's not gonna let it get out of whack here. Wes Covina's, well, I don't know. He did say blah 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 blah. He did send Kyle a pewter frog with a pipe here. Blah blah blah.
Smoking a pipe and wearing a hat.
Oh,
Guys, I just got some fairly tragic news. Should I share it with everybody?
what kind of news? I mean, it's like
It's kind of like reloading community news here.
yeah.
Let me see what I can find out for sure.
Is it about Willie?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I've been meaning to. I meant to text him earlier and see, because after I saw his video and see how he was doing, it kind of upsets me that they want to take his foot. I don't know if y'all have seen his video update while he's still in the hospital.
Yeah, I saw it earlier.
That kind of upset me a little bit. The doctors being they're like, we have to take the foot. They're like, this is not freaking Civil War time. I mean, there has to be some other way that they can do this and save the foot. There has to be. But yeah, Jamie,
Yeah, it's
you can share it if you like. Just
Let's see how many people are on.
I think there's like I've got
It says 7 people.
yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Let me refresh and see.
All right, let me get back over here and see what everybody's saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, Jamie, if you want to share that or not. I think we're all pretty much family here.
Yeah. Well, I consider y'all family. I mean,
I just got a email that Ozark Spirit lost his wife last night.
Oh, man.
oh no.
Uh, I don't know any of the details, but I would just ask that y'all be in prayer for the family. Saturday night during Uncle Jim's Hat Chat, he was in Florida. I have no details, and that's why I was hesitant to share. But y'all, please be praying for Ozark. He's such a happy-go-lucky kind of funny dude, man. He's hilarious, but I know he's hurting right now.
Yeah, and please let him know that he's going to be in our thoughts and mine and my family's thoughts and prayers. Wow, that's
That's pretty terrible news.
yeah.
I'm hear that.
Kind of makes the hardness of your lead seem irrelevant, doesn't it?
Yeah. It makes a lot of things seem irrelevant right now, Jamie.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Wow, that's wow. That's
I mean, I don't know if she had been ill or whatever, but if it was an accident, I just don't know any details at all. So when I do, I'll be sure and let you know. And Jeremy,
thank you.
I'm going to put my email in the chat messages. Can you see the chat messages?
Yeah, I can. Let me get something where I can get it real quick so it's not there for too long. I'm get my email up so I can just go send you like a
No,
email that
it's
says
not
like
going to be. It's going to be in the chat in the inside.
oh okay yeah.
I want you to email me all your information, and when I get it, I'll email you back all my contact information, name,
Yeah.
email, phone number, address, all that kind of stuff, and I'll send it. I'll send mine back to you.
Okay, yeah. I thought you meant like in the side chat over here. I'm not the hangout chat. Okay.
Yeah, that's in the Hangout chat. Just write it down. Email me when you get a chance. But on a brighter note, I've been reloading some rounds with my new progressive press that Eagle Eye sent me. Here y'all can see I got the
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, but
powder measure. This is an auto disc powder measure. This is the bullet feeder and the collator here. And these are some rounds I loaded up last night. These are 137 grain HTC. These are smooth sided bullets inside this case, and I'm hoping they shoot real good because they've got more barren surface and more of the projectile is in contact with the rifling. So I'm pretty proud of those. They came out pretty good, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
And then before I started that, I did some 357 Magnum. I know Miss Kitty will like these. Look, Miss Kitty, 357 Magnum lipstick.
Did Uncle Jim ever shoot those unicorns that he casted up?
I have no idea.
Mama Murphy asked, "Why are they blue?" It's due to the powder coat.
Yeah, and I have a blue one in 357 Magnum as well. That's Ford Light Blue, Eastwood Ford Light Blue. And then this is Eastwood Mirror Red. I got to buy that. I'm still trying to use the Harbor Freight Red because I got 2 pounds of it. And I want to say frugal, but let's be truthful and honest. I'm a cheapskate, right, guys? I mean, that's what we are as reloaders. We're looking to save money and shoot more and all that. So, yeah.
We're trying to be economical, not cheap.
Right.
Well, if I send you this email, I want to have to give you my email address. So, let's put my.
Was that what caliber was that, Jamie?
This one is a 357 Magnum.
Okay.
And then this one is a 9mm.
Nice.
Same bullet in both projectiles in the same both cartridges. But in the 9mm, I sized them down one more thousand. These are sized at 356. These are sized at 357. And I like to run my 357 Magnums at 358, but we'll see how they do at 357. If they shoot good and they don't lead, you know, they might shoot better. Never can tell. But Tin Man sent me those bullets, so I got to do some test up for. I got to take these and test them for him. I also got. I probably got 3 or 4 sets of bullets over there of cartridges I've already loaded that I need to test for Willie Bullet Man. He sent me a box with about 4 different bullets in it, and I need to test them up. That's been months ago, so.
Yeah, sorry, Jamie. Speaking of Willie, he just put up a new update.
What are you using as your sizer, Jamie?
I use the Lee sizing kit, bullet sizing kit.
Now, is that a universal sizer, or is that specific to that?
It's specific to each size that you want to run a bullet. Let me get a couple. Well, I got one right here. This one is 356. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's in my little small press over here, my little C press. This is what I use to size bullets with. And you have to have, typically with cast bullets, we want to go 1,000th over the bore diameter. So if it's a 357 Magnum, the bore is supposed to be 357. Also the same with 38 specials. So we typically want to run them at 358. 9mm is typically a 355, so we want to run those at 356. And basically, when you get the kit, what you get is where'd my RAM go? Here it is. It'll come in a box. Well, I don't know what you want to call this. It's the Lee kit. put it back together so I'll show you how to take it apart. Isn't that crazy? Lee bullet lubricating and sizing kit. Now, used to their die kits came in a case like this.
Yeah.
So you open it up, and you have directions, and you have the ram, which goes into your. This is the punch that goes into the press, the ram of your press, and then this just screws down in there, and you literally just set a bullet on that ram and just ram it up through there.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta.
Then what they want you to do is buy some of their Lee liquid A-locks and swab them all down. I don't do that. I powder coat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need. This will only do 3.56 bullets.
Now, isn't there a universal sizing die though?
That comes from. You can get a universal sizing die body from NOE, but then you have to buy the bushing for each individual caliber like that, like same principle. So if you're shooting 40 Smith and Wesson,
Sorry.
bless you, brother. You all right?
Yeah, just someone's talking about me up a storm. I have a feeling I know who it is.
Okay.
My Yankee beauty is probably talking her head off about me.
So if you're shooting 40 Smith and Wesson, you'll buy a size and die 0.401. 30 caliber is typically for 30-06, 30-30, 300 blackout is typically 3.308. So I got a 309 size and die. And each one of these kits are like $19.95 from Lee. But if you go the NOE route, you can buy the size and die body for like $40, and then each of the bushings are like $6 or $7, $8, something like that. So
That's not bad.
You can go that route. You don't have to buy the body once, but you can add all of the bushing as you need them. And if I was just starting to get into casting, that's the way I would go. But I'm sitting here now with 7 of these lead sizing kits. I ain't going the other way. Another thing I've seen is with the NOE guys that are starting to size their bullets with those things have a really tough time getting the bullet to go through there because it's not beveled. It's hard to get them to go through there.
Well, I've heard so many people ragging on Lee, just basically saying, "Oh, they're nothing but cheap pieces of junk," and all this. You got to buy this, blah blah blah, and the things like that is way outside of a lot of people just starting out ranges, like their modes and everything. There we go. And I'm like, but I've never had a problem with a Lee. I've got a 2-year-old Lee mold that I've used a lot, and it's still perfectly fine. I mean, the hand press that I'm using is simple, quick, and easy. I mean, I can reload like literally 100 rounds of 45 long coat on it in a couple hours once I get all once I get it all together. I mean, it's probably not, but probably on Jamie or Michael's press that they have, they can probably crank out that much in 10 minutes. But I'm also OCD on mine too, so I After I size mine, I check mine, make sure it fits. If not, I redo it.
Let me tell you something, brother. You using that Lee hand press and you're learning how to reload.
Yep.
When you get ready to get you a bigger and better press, you'll have the process down and nobody can ever take that away from you, man.
And I'll have the dice set the way they're supposed to be too.
Well, you'll know what each die is supposed to be doing and you'll understand how to set it up.
Yeah, and also I have each one of them. I found where they're supposed to be and took a Sharpie and goes I put a circle around it where it's supposed to be. So if it's if I don't see the Sharpie line, I know to lower it. If I see metal between that Sharpie and the nut, I know to raise it up. I know I can. I've got it where it's supposed to be.
Well, I don't want to get off into this too deep, but what I'm telling you, man, is you'll find people that like to look down on you for different things and different reasons, and a lot of it's like y'all shoot black powder and that kind of stuff, which is really cool to me. I used to have a black powder rifle. I wish I still had it, but people like to look down on you because what you have didn't cost as much as what they have. They think because they spend more money on certain things, they're superior than to us because we're on a budget and that kind of thing. But what you got to understand is that's really their way of making themselves feel superior because they're deep down inside, they've got an inferiority complex.
Oh, I won't tell this little story. And it's not me bragging or anything, but I took this to a public range, right? That was an outdoor. Well, actually, it was the other one, but still, my cap and ball revolver. This guy had his brand new spanking pistol that he spent God knows how much on, and was trying to shoot at a man-sized target at 30 yards, and could not hit the broadside of a barn. He was shooting literally 2 feet short and 2 feet to the left. Right? Yeah, left. And I'm aiming at the exact same size target and everything. 15 out of 15 times I only missed twice. And that's because of me. I mean, I jerked the trigger, so it went high, and then I thought, and so I aimed too low. I'm like, no, I'm jerking the trigger. That's me. Bad, no. And this guy sees these two shots and starts making fun of me, and then I'm like, I've already figured out what I'm doing wrong, right? And then the next 13 shots are literally everywhere it would have hit would have been a lethal shot. Michael, you don't have to subjugate yourself to the side chat. You know that, right?
Oh no. Yeah, I know. I was just responding to something.
Oh, happens a lot when I go to the public range. Yeah, and that's another thing. People think just because this is based on old technology, it's not going to work. Well, guess what? The AR-15 platform started in the 50s.
Yeah.
So
and an old guy designed it, by the way, too.
Yeah, I'm like, you're saying this is the most superior technology out on the market today. Oh, it came out in the 50s. How much it goes boom. Be happy. I'm exercising my Second Amendment right.
Yep, goes boom, bullet goes that way. Hit what you're aiming at. Yeah, I mean, I know I've said this before, probably way too many times, but back about 6-7 years ago, or about 8 years ago, actually now, that was when I was really starting to get interested in black powder stuff. And every time I brought it up to somebody, it was the same thing. And me, I allowed myself to listen to these idiots, and talk me out of getting into black powder stuff, which I regret now, greatly, because had I gotten into it then, when it was more readily available, I probably wouldn't be, having the problems that I'm having now, such as like finding powder and stuff like that, because I know for a fact that, it was available then, whereas now it's not. The only thing that's available nowadays, it seems, is just black powder substitutes, which, in my opinion, are just not as good as the real thing. Um, but I had a long discussion with a Marine, and when I mentioned to him that I wanted to get me a flintlock, he got on me. Oh man, why are you going to get something that's antiquated, that's, obsolete, yada, yada, yada. Get yourself a good AR. He said, and by the time you shoot one round and try to load up the next one, I can shoot 20 rounds and this and that. And I said, okay, yeah, that's all well and good. But what good is a 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or however many round magazine if you can't hit the target with the first shot?
Here's when someone says it's antiquated. Almost, I'll look at them and say like this: I hit you with one of these, your ass is still as dead as if I shot you with a modern bullet. Only difference is, this is going to hurt a lot more.
That's gonna do, yeah. I mean, especially a round, a soft round ball that hits and on impact flat to the size of almost a 50 cent, a half dollar. That, the difference between the old, ammunition to the new ammunition is the old ammunition, or I'll put it this way: new ammunition makes a very small entry wound and a larger exit wound,
Yeah.
whereas old ammunition just made a very big entrance wound.
I'm sorry, Michael. Vanessa's kitties autocorrect mishap. Flint licks.
Oh,
I was not laughing at you. I just having to look over and saw that. I hunt bear, moose, duck, geese, and rabbit in Alaska with flint licks. Oh,
Don't you love autocorrect, Miss Kitty?
oh, oh! God, that. Uh.
Mercy.
Oh.
so yeah, and then when I started explaining to them, the whole legal aspect and all that, and how, you know, black powder guns are not regulated, and you can have them, mailed to your front door, and this and that. He really, like, I wish you'd have seen the look on his face. Like, he couldn't believe it. And I pulled out my phone and I showed him, a bunch of websites and stuff. And I swear to God, after about 20, 30 minutes, I pretty much convinced him, into getting into a black powder gun, after he spent, like, 15 minutes jumping on me about it. It was pretty fun.
I think I got my brother Omnimon into shooting black powder guns after he shot that Sharps rifle. Hold on one second.
And the thing is, when it comes to the whole loading aspect, that's one of the main arguments that I get from people. Oh, they're too slow to load. They take too long to load. Well, I mean, at first maybe, but once you figure out all the little tricks and stuff to make loading faster and more, reliable, as far as speed is concerned. And then obviously, the old adage of knowing your weapon, knowing your gun, knowing your firearm. that's what it all just comes down to. I mean, the best, the better you know your firearm or your gun, the better you're going to be with it. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Learn to shoot, man.
Yeah.
Black powder rifle's gonna make you an infinitely better marksman.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. And well, here's the thing: my 5460 sharp, which is Michael's probably going to have a little bit more stopping power to it because it's got a longer barrel to it. Because he's got the infantry rifle, I got the cavalry carbine.
Yep.
It's mine hits a little bit harder than a 30-06. It's got a 320 grain pill going out, and it at 50 yards and 100 yards, it will knock down one of a 30-06 rated spinner. I mean, it spins it around like 4 or 5 times, and then it just goes flat. And that's, I mean, so it's got some stopping power, right? How many 223 ARs is going to be able to do that? Omnimon dudes about where a statement about being dead with a modern firearm is actually down to accuracy and bullet main. Yeah, Omnimon does bring up a good point. He brings it about the difference between modern and black powder is if you actually hit somebody. And the bullet makeup, not really. A softer lead projectile, when it hits something, it's going to go. So as soon as it hits like a person, it's going to start flattening. And if you notice, a lot of hollow points have softer lead cores and a hard outer jacket.
No.
And that harder outer jacket helps it not deform in the barrel and obturate right. And then when it actually hits something, that lead core starts to squish and mushroom out that copper. And a lot of times you'll have the copper core, casing. I believe I'm saying that right, Jamie, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the lead core separate. So you'll have actually 2 projectiles in the person or animal. Sometimes, not all the times. I have seen it happen, and I've seen times where they stayed together. So,
And that takes me back full circle to the powder coating thing, because powder coating is like a polyethylene jacket that we apply to our bullets, and it does not come off.
yeah. So you don't have to worry about, you're eating this deer heart and, oh, no, here's a piece of jacketing out of my teeth. If you're using them for hunting. And that's where I see a lot of, like, hollow points is used in hunting applications. Because they expand and they drop animals more efficiently to some people. Because if they got that soft tip and then they soft tip copper jacketed hunting rounds or what. Coralox is one I can think of.
Yep.
This is a Remington Corlock 35 Remington 150 grain. If y'all can see it, it has the jacket comes up to the point, and then the soft lead is exposed, and it's designed to mushroom out.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, Jamie. Not that. I've never actually shot a 35 Remington. I would love to.
Well, if you come to our get together, I'll make sure I bring that rifle.
That's still up in the air on my end, man. Honestly.
I hate to say it, Jamie. Yeah, I might not be able to make it after all.
I can't say one way or the other. I mean, it's just
I'm gonna, I mean, I'm gonna try. It's not
Oh,
looking.
yeah, I'm trying my hardest, but it's just
I get it, guys. It's a long way. And
oh no, it's not that. It's I'm the new guy. I'm the low man on the totem pole.
right.
Am I, so it's
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of fundage for me. I don't really make a lot of money, and we've been getting hit pretty hard here lately with some bills and stuff. And I got some family stuff that I don't really want to get into here, but I'm trying to figure it out. And there's just members of my family that don't want to work with me and don't want to cooperate. They're just making things harder than it should be.
yeah, and I hate when that happens. And also, Vanessa Kitty asks, "Is it illegal to travel with your reloading equipment?" Technically, black powder does not classify as reloading equipment. It classifies as explosives. So I'd have to be bringing my black powder substitute.
Well, here's the thing about that. Here, I'm just grab an example for you.
But
This is what makes me upset about the whole argument with the stores not carrying real black powder anymore. On the back here it says, and I hope you can see that, it says danger, explosive, correct?
yeah,
And this is GoX 3FG real black powder. Well, they sell this in the store. This is Jim Shockey's Gold 2FG, and this is a black, quote unquote black powder substitute. You tell me what it says right there on the bottle.
danger explosive.
So what? I don't, So their whole argument of, oh, we can't sell black powder because it's an explosive goes right out the window when they got this right sitting right there on their shelf.
Oh, I know. But here's the thing. It was done by pencil pushers. I can say this a lot meaner, but I'm not going to. And a lot cruder, I'm not going to. It's done by pencil pushers in Washington that don't know their.
I can sign it. I can wrap it up for you in one word.
Go for it.
Lawyers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lawyers.
Well, I was going to say, trying to find a nice way to put it. But yeah, yeah. And here's the thing: it's all these. And what's getting me is that a lot of these mass shootings that's been happening, even in the last few, I think I've seen like the 3 in the last couple of days on Facebook. A lot of these things are being done by the people pushing for anti-gun legislation. You know, so you want me to give up my guns because you say it's bad, but then you go out and take a gun and do all these horrible things. Nope, I'm not keep getting rid of my guns. Nope. You want them? You get them after I run out of bullets. Or my barrel melts down, whichever one happens first.
So here's something interesting that I didn't notice before on the 777. It says here on the back, 777 is not an explosive regulated by federal explosive law, but may explode if misused. So apparently they just changed the wording to make this, kosher. Because nowhere on here does it say explosive. It says extremely flammable, but that's it.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, Jamie's already answered it, but Vanessa, yes, you can go to like any state and buy powder. like if I do go to make it to where the shooting event's happening, I'll be able to go to most stores and buy probably Pyrex or something. Mama Murphy just says, just grab an alligator and go another round.
Yeah,
But I don't want to use my brother.
If I were to,
Oh wait, no, he's a big old teddy bear.
that's a country song.
Yeah, I know. Battle of New Orleans, Jimmy Horton. What?
If I
No one
were-
ever accused me of having bad taste in music.
yeah. If I were to go out there, I probably, you know, I probably wouldn't take black powder stuff. Well, I'd take my, but I'd just take it with the conversion cylinder.
I'd take it all. Excuse me. Oh, that hurt.
Well, the thing is if I were to need powder or whatever, I would also need a reloading.
Well, I was talking about like I would be like taking like my cap and ball stuff, and I might make up a bunch. And I've got a bunch of rounds made up right here behind me. I was doing that last night, right there, for my sharps. Yeah, for those who don't know, Arkansas is like half the state is flooded. We were planning on going to the range and do some shooting, and nope, it's flooded.
Oh,
What
man.
happened?
It
What's
was
up, Jamie?
It was a sudden illness. They were
Oh no.
on vacation, man. So I reckon I'm gonna get off of here and try to see what I can do to help give them some comfort. They had
Sorry about that, guys. I got a phone call.
they had teenage boys.
Let him know that me and Michael are thinking of him and praying for him and everything.
Please
Jamie.
do. I'm gonna get on Slack and send him a message, and hopefully I can be with y'all next week if everything works out. You get news like that, and you got a friend that you care about, and you know they're hurting, and you want to do what you can, and you don't want to barge in on their family time of grief. But I'm just wondering if some of us may ought to pack it up and ride over to the funeral.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at, or I would go and just support him because I've been on a few live streams with him, and he seems like a very, very, very awesome person to be around. I mean,
we've had him on our show several times, and he's just salt of the earth people, man. He's funny as the day is long, and somebody with that kind of sense of humor, and they're hurting, you just want to go hug them. You know what I mean?
yeah, I understand that. I mean that, and they were on vacation. That's like a kick in the freaking teeth. You're having a good time, and the next thing you know, it's gone. I mean that. And yes, please let him know that we are thinking about him, Jamie.
I certainly will.
And that me and my family will be praying for him, and I bet you a lot of other people will be too.
Yeah, Nathan's texting me now, so the Georgia Shooters Connection guys have found out. So let me go see what we can work out. And Jeremy, make sure you email me if I get out there for that funeral. I'll hunt you down.
Okay. I sent you my phone number and my email address.
Okay.
In an email. I already did that. I don't know if you've got it yet or not.
Probably.
But anyway, Jamie, thank you for stopping by. Like I said, you're always. Oh, you and anyone from the Reloading Shooting Connection, Uncle Jim's chats are always welcome.
Well,
You know? And if you want to be on, here before, just let Michael know, and so he can let me know. Well, now because I have a feeling y'all have a lot of his contact information, so y'all can get probably hold of him a lot easier than y'all can me.
maybe. I don't know. I know where to send his packages. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I gotta get your email about that stuff about that, man, so I can send you that stuff I said I'd send you. Got it all boxed up, just no nothing, no label to send it on.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Michael.
Oh,
Guys,
Yeah,
y'all have a good evening. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't bring everybody down, but I just wasn't expecting all this. But
yeah. No, Jamie, it's all good.
You're fine, Jamie. Thank you for
keep me.
the reason I wanted Jeremy's phone number and stuff, there's some stuff I wanted to talk to you about. That I got some ideas to hopefully help your chat and get you some more viewers. And well, let me just throw a bombshell out on you.
yeah.
Right now, earlier tonight, you had the Reloading podcast. You got PR Prepper doing his thing. You got there's 2 or more live streams going on right now. My thought was, how would you feel about Wednesday night?
That's fine with me.
There's like nobody else is having a live stream that night. There would be a thing of you showing the other guys respect and the fact that you're not going to be doing your live stream at the same time they are. Plus, it'll free up folks to come and see what you got going on.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to Michael and Warsaw about this, and it's just never. By the time I think about it, they're off the Google Hangout, the after chat. But yeah, I've been thinking about that too because yeah, it would have to be after 7 though. It would be starting later because I go to church on Wednesday night. Yeah,
well, we go too, but we're typically out by 7:30. And
you're an hour ahead of me, so by the time you get out of church, right? You're about an hour ahead of me. It's about 10 there, isn't it?
10:30.
Yeah, but we'll be. But what do you think about this, Michael? I mean, it's as much your live chat as it is mine. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's fine. I'm not sure if Duke Frazier is still doing. I think he was doing Wednesday nights though too.
I think is he? Let me see if he's on. I'll send him a message and.
Hey man, this is y'all's thing, and I just want to throw an idea out there. That's all. Y'all, what was that? You say discuss it amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that? You know, Michael, one of Saturday Night Live guys.
Oh gosh, who was that?
It'll come to me. Anyway, I got to go, guys. Y'all, thanks for having me.
Okay.
It's I'm going to try to make a point to plug your chat more on our Friday night show and see if we can get you some more folks tuning in and we'll talk and see if we
Yeah.
can come up with some ideas. Because
Yeah.
I'm not trying to boss you around or anything like that. I just want to help.
Jamie, you're fine. I mean, I take when someone suggests something, I look at it, and then but like I said, this is Warsaw and Michael's as much as it is mine. I mean,
Well, that's the way we work on Friday nights at the Georgia Shooters Connection live stream. Uh, every guest we have is approved by all four of us, or they don't come on. In other words, if it's not any decision that's got to be made about that live stream is either unanimous or it's shelved. So, and then we try to plan out what we're going to do. We don't script anything or anything like that, but we try to plan a topic and the guest to be appropriate with our topic and that kind of thing. But like I said, every decision's got to be unanimous or we don't do it. And a lot of the weeks when we don't have a guest, it's because I messed up. I didn't get a guest scheduled, but we try to do a guest this week and without a guest the next, kind of that kind of thing, alternating back and forth. And one of the guys don't want to have more than one guest on at a time because he can't keep it in his mind who and what we're talking about. And I'm not calling any names, but we're getting to all of us are getting to the age where we have trouble remembering who we're talking to and what we're talking about. And when we start trying to keep up with the live chat at the same time, and you got 10 people trying to talk at the same time, it's just right over my head, dude. Anyway, I'll talk at y'all later. Thanks for having me, and I'll be in touch with you guys.
all right, Jamie. You have a great night. You have a blessed night, Jamie.
You too, man. See you, Michael.
All right, have a good night, Jamie, or at least try to.
Yeah,
Definitely send
thanks, guys.
thoughts and prayers.
Thanks.
But yeah, only thing is, if we do move to Wednesday night, we'd have to be about it. It'd be starting about an hour and a half ish. It would be starting a little later.
Which that's fine. Start around like maybe 8:30. Go for about an hour or two.
Yeah. But we still have to figure out when we can have that 8-hour live stream one night in honor of Uncle Jim.
For society.
I've already got the name planned out. Uncle Jim, quack quack. I think he would get a kick out of that right there.
Yeah.
But I hope it's just not been a good week for anybody. It seems like on YouTube here lately. Willie's in the hospital. Ozark. Well, we found out about Ozark. A few other YouTubers that I'm friends with that do gaming stuff. They've had their channel get hit by a channel strike for playing like Minecraft. Like it's like a block game, like a 80s style 3D game, everything's blockish. They got a channel strike for playing that.
That's weird. I've seen.
Yeah, Yeah, and they don't swear or nothing. I mean, they got it, but they got a channel strike for it. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just
There's a lot of stuff going on YouTube that's not it's not fair and it's not right. Uh, the way they're striking some while others, they don't, and I don't understand it, and I think it's you know
it's bullshit.
yeah it's just it's making YouTube a very not enjoyable place anymore. Uh,
A
you know,
very toxic place.
yeah, it's becoming very toxic, and that's why, I mean, you have other individuals that are starting other platforms and promoting those platforms. And I understand there's a lot of people that have invested a lot in YouTube and this and that, but until we decide, it's kind of like the same thing with our government and all the things that they're doing, wrong or that's bad. Until we decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm not going to, contribute to your platform anymore, and go to another platform until, and start doing it in mass, uh, because once they start seeing people leaving, then they'll realize, well, wait a minute, we can't have that, we need to fix something here.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping UG2, the Utah Gun Exchange, takes off, or the Reloading Network, kind of like reload like their start like something like kind of like YouTube, but without like the Facebook part. We've already kind of got the Facebook part. Now we just need the YouTube part, where we can just upload. It's there. Boom.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because you got BitChute, but how long before BitChute's even around anymore? Or
Yeah.
they do go the same way as YouTube goes, and then you're not good no more. I mean, you got full 30, but shoot, I've been trying to get on full 30 for the last two since they've been out, and I haven't heard nothing back from them. I've applied every month to try to become a channel content creator over there. Uh, Gun streamer, I'm not saying anything on. I mean, I even shared it, some of my videos from there. Uh, Facebook Insta took them down. As soon as I shared them, it was gone. Uh, which one of those had someone arrested? I honestly don't know what she's talking about. Do you, Michael?
I was just answering to that right now. Yeah, I mean, there's been people that have been arrested or have had charges filed against them for stuff that they've put on YouTube or said on YouTube. I know there's a few people, and I think she might be talking about Julian Assange, who is the creator of WikiLeaks. He was arrested and he's incarcerated right now in some Chilean prison, which that doesn't make any sense why they sent him there. And apparently he's not doing very good.
Loads of Bacon says it was UGTube. Well, I know that there are some things that it doesn't matter what site you're on. If it's against the law and it.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, wow, really? I didn't know that.
okay, no, okay, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
I haven't either.
That's interesting.
Utah Gun Exchange had a person arrested on sex crimes. It was drug charges. Yeah, now I'm completely and totally confused, guys. My head hurts now. I'm gonna have to look this up so I can understand it better. Because I haven't heard none of this. I mean,
Yeah.
you would figure this would be all over mainstream media because they're so anti-gun, and these are pro-gun sites.
Yeah, right.
But of course, when they found out the the guy that used the silenced 45 was a Muslim, that was gone. You notice that it kind of dropped out.
Oh, I still didn't. I haven't really looked at the details on. Are you talking about the incident at Virginia Beach?
I'm not sure which one happened because it seems like at the start of the week we had like 3 shootings at one time. Like what the? Oh,
Yeah.
my mother heard on the radio today that we're in a cold civil war at the moment.
Oh, I've been saying that for the past few years already.
Yeah, it just seems like. But here's the thing. How long before it goes from Cold War to hot war for actual full blood? I mean, you've got one side already shooting at people.
Yeah.
I mean, how much longer for people? It's like, yeah, screw your gun laws. I'm carrying wherever I go because I ain't being shot at.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's can't say it's getting out of hand. It's already gotten out of hand. It's already out
Yeah.
of hand. And I've said it before and I'll say it again that I'm at the age where I no longer believe in coincidence anymore. Are happening far too frequent, and it's no coincidence that they're happening with the frequency that they're happening. Just look at that teacher that got busted for planting live ammunition in a school, to try to, in an attempt to claim that, somebody brought, live ammunition into a school and create a false narrative. And,
Yeah, that's what.
that's the age that we've reached, of this
Stupidity.
this attempt to create a false narrative just to push an agenda. And the thing is they're literally putting people's lives at risk and getting people, killed just to put an agenda.
Yeah, it's. I hate to say this, but the South is about to rise, and the South is going to be like literally a lot bigger this time. And I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy. I mean, that paranoid schizophrenic person, that hides in a bunker all day playing G.I. Joe. But I mean, if you just look at the simple facts that there are too many people getting into prepping, taking these self-defense classes with guns. But it's getting to the point where I'm not saying, and like Bacon says, we're not near there, but we're getting to that point. It's starting to, there's only so much, I hate to say this, there's only so much of that group of people will take before they pick up arms. The difference between a civil war and a genocide is armed citizens. And what are they trying to do?
They're trying to disarm us.
Take this. They take these. Guess what? we have a Holocaust. I mean, don't believe me? Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany. What was the first thing he did? I mean, it's those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. But anyway, so what was the other thing? You said you wanted to talk about something. What was that? Or did we already talk about it? I can't remember. Jamie dropped in.
Yeah, it was just that thing about the man with no name gun.
Yeah, and I find it funny that he has. I want to know how he's time traveling too. If you noticed in a lot of the movies, he's using a cult peacemaker and
Well, the whole man series, like they're really no historical significance. It was just pure fiction. So really don't know. There was no time frame to base it on. But throughout that whole series, I mean, the that he used was a single act, basically a peacemaker.
yeah, but I'm just saying. But Loda Bacon says, "Yeah, trust me, I would prefer any other option besides war. Trust me, that's I'm not trying to advocate war. I'm honestly not. But at the same time, if you want peace, prepare for war. If you want war, prepare for peace."
And well, the thing is people, like just I'll just use this for an example. Here in there's that old saying of the four boxes of liberty: the soap box, the ballot box, the jury box, and the ammo box. When the first three, the liberty, fail because the soapbox, nobody wants to listen to you, and those who do listen to you, don't do anything about it. They just hear your words, agree with you, but they don't take action. The ballot box, when your votes no longer matter, when the ballot or when the voting booths are corrupted and manipulated,
Florida.
when the jury box, when the judges and the whole system has become corrupted, then what? And again, I mean, I'm not advocating for violence or whatever, but the thing is, when is enough enough?
That's what I'm asking. I mean, how much more are they going to be? I mean,
Here's the thing. Back in the day, what set off the Revolutionary War, was taxation without representation.
with a 3% taxes.
Yeah, 3%. Of course, I mean, the value of the dollar and everything was completely different then. But still, here in Illinois, there's, I mean, more than a dozen bills calling for more taxes. There was an article, or a report the other day about this new bill that they're trying to pass here that includes the recreational marijuana, which is another form of revenue that's going to go to the state. They're trying to push a bill, or in the same bill, they're trying to make it to where they're going to allow more casinos, which, again, more revenue. They're going to tax the hell out of the property and everything that goes on within the casino. The casino itself is going to generate millions and millions of dollars. And then the other one was all the travel tax, which involves the tolls on the toll roads. They're raising the tax on gas, and they're even trying to implement a tax on travel itself as far as distance. if you travel a certain amount of distance every month or something like that, you're going to have to pay an extra tax. So they estimated that all of these, everything that was proposed in this bill was going to generate another $4.6 billion, billion with a B. But yet, already the tolling, the highway tolls generates 3.8, I believe it was 3.8 million, or it might have been billion already, a year. But yet, for the past however many years, they've been, the state politicians here have been claiming that Illinois is bankrupt and doesn't have enough money to, take care of its infrastructure and its educational system and its hospitals and all that. So where's all that money going? When you have corrupt politicians running the place, and when is enough enough? When you can't vote them out, when you can't charge them with anything because they own the state police, they own the courts and the judges, what's left? They leave us with only one option.
It's not that bad here in Arkansas yet. What the fuck was that?
That was my dog.
But this just how long before it does? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look at the red flag law. It first was introduced in, I can't remember, one state. And then now how many other states?
Yeah, then it just spread like a cancer.
I mean, it tried to come here to Arkansas and it was shot down hugely.
And
yeah.
the thing, the politicians that we elected into office that told us, and made promises to us that they were going to, heck, when they go into office, they have to pledge an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States of America, which includes the Bill of Rights, which includes the Second Amendment. They're not doing that.
I know. And Vanessa Kitty made a good point. Over 1 million plus people never vote each election.
Yeah, I agree, and I understand that, but what does that matter when the people that we do vote for, those that do vote and get a certain individual into office, and that individual just, is not upholding what they promised, what they're supposed to do, they're not doing their job.
Right.
And there's no accountability.
That is true, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm not the only one saying this. There's a lot of people getting fed up with crooked politicians, and people saying, "Oh, Trump colluded with still are trying to say Trump colluded with Russia because Mueller came out and he said he worded it just right to keep them investigating." But if you it's the National Firearm Act back in 1934. But anyway, like Loda Bacon says, but it's still, they're trying to do things that are the believe it or not, the National Firearms Act is unconstitutional. If you look at it, the way it's worded, it is unconstitutional. But because of the way the words of the Second Amendment are written.
And that's just
Uh,
it. We're allowing all of this stuff to just continue. I mean, yeah, it may not be new, but that just goes to show how much, we have just let our government get away with things and not keep them, not hold them in check. And that's what the Second Amendment is all about, is holding our government in check. But we're not doing that.
yeah, and Vanessa Kitty says the only way we have is at the ballot box. Yeah, well, it's getting to where the ballot boxes is no longer a viable option, and then we have the one last box. And I mean, because here, let's just say this: there's a few politicians here in Arkansas who should not have won, but they won anyway. Let's just say that much.
I think we should probably call it a night.
Yeah, yeah, we are. Let's call it night in 5 minutes. That way we end at a flat mark.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the red. I mean, they are trying to introduce a lot of stupid laws that are Night Mama Murphy, Night Bacon, that are literally so unenforceable that they're struck down as soon as they hit anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is we have politicians that are trying to implement, these bills, and they're implementing them based solely on emotion and not reason.
Mm-hmm.
They're just reactionary, bills that are being implemented and trying to be put in place, just as a response to something that happened. And of course, they're focusing on, agenda-based ideologies instead of like actually trying to address the actual problem.
But Vanessa Key says, then what? Your choice us never vote again and join the ranks of the 100 million who don't vote? No.
No.
Keep voting, but the thing is, it's getting to the point where they're trying to get rid of the electoral college. And here's the thing: that means that our elections will be won by whoever wins. If you win California, you're the president.
Well, whoever has the popular vote gets the vote.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by California.
Exactly.
So who literally is going to come down to who can win California? What happens? And here's the thing: what happens if we have a tie one year?
I mean, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Voting just really ain't cutting it anymore. Especially when you get left with two options, and both of them are horrible options.
Yeah.
And that analogy of the lesser of two evils. Well, just because you're voting for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for something that's evil.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like our last election. Do I agree with? I mean, I knew what I was getting with Trump, and I knew what I was getting with Hillary. But here's the thing: Trump was the way lesser of two evils. But I mean, let's face it; he's not always been a righteous person. He's not always had the best business choices. But I mean, he's still human. I mean, but let's face it; I'm going to vote for him again because he's kept almost all of his promises.
Well, here's the thing: I mean, he signed off on the red flag laws. He signed off on the bump stock ban. The bump stock ban came first, but that just opened the floodgates to all the anti-gunners to just go after everything else. Magazines, or capacities and different. And now they're dictating everything that you can and can't have. You know, so it's become a dictatorship,
Yeah,
and you've got bureaucracy laws when they have no authority to do so.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It was less. It was either Hillary or Trump.
And somebody even made a pretty good point, you know, the other night. They said, well, you know, here's the thing. If Hillary had gone into office, every anti-gun thing that she would have said would have been, you know, immediately denied by the Republicans. Well, now that we have a Republican president, there are Republicans that sided with the left, you know, and we ended flag laws and with, you know, a bump stock ban.
And I hate to say this, but the people that are saying they're Republican and then don't do what the Republican Party is supposed to be doing is not a Republican. But we can bring that up in the next. We can continue this in the after chat because it is 10 o'clock here, and that means it is time to end this thing. Have a great night, everybody.
Yep. Want to thank
Night.
you. Bye. Have a good one.